is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Time right now is 4:27 here on your Friday morning. Thanks for starting your day with us on Good Morning Indiana. I'm Lauren Casey.
And I'm Meredith Barrick. We want to begin with a new amendment that's going to have a major impact on Indigo.
Yeah, so this was added to a state house bill yesterday, and this would make some big changes for Indigo's future plans, kind of derail their plans for the blue line and the purple line. The amendment basically saying that Indigo, in order to do some of these upcoming projects, they would need to raise at least 10% of the money from things other than fares and taxes. So Indigo saying this is not part of their plans, and so this would change things. We're going to be following this story, what that means for mass transit in that area, what that means if you're a taxpayer in Marion County. It's not something that's become a law yet, but it's something we're going to continue to follow if it makes its way through the legislature.
Well, if you are standing outside this morning awaiting for an Indigo bus, you're going to want to bundle up. It's another cold morning out there. The good news is, though, once we get into the weekend, things are finally going to warm up, Alyssa.
That's right. So we are going to see some warmer temperatures. We just have to get through today. It is a chilly start. It's in the 20s right now. Feels a little bit more like the teens out there. So it's going to be a morning you want to bundle up. And we're starting dry this morning. We'll see some light flurries possible midday, and then maybe a light snow shower moving through this afternoon. We just have a quick moving clipper system that could bring us some of that precipitation today. But you can see our temperatures only climbing into the low 30s. So it is going to be a chilly day. But the good news is there is a warm up on the way. However, that comes with quite a bit of rainfall as we head into next week. We're going to start seeing that rain as early as Sunday.
Okay, Alyssa, thank you.
All right, well, we are following the latest with the coronavirus, COVID-19. What this means for us here as Hoosiers, obviously we don't have any cases according to the State Department here in the state of Indiana. They're monitoring anyone that's been traveling out of the country, especially to these affected areas. But of course, we're looking at how we are preparing, what universities are doing, how this is impacting business in our state, the stock market, a number of different factors to look at.
Yeah, and we're also looking into what you should do if you feel like maybe you have the coronavirus, maybe you have traveled internationally, or you've come in contact with someone who has. So we are covering all those aspects this morning to keep you and your family safe.
And this is interesting. We'll have this story coming up from our own Rafael Sanchez. Something kind of good to know is our state is prepared for an emergency, a natural disaster, anything. They actually have a lot of supplies saved up for something like this, where they can keep people around and keep us give us what we need for kind of a long period of time.
Right. Our Rafael Sanchez goes behind the scenes looking into what supplies the state has stocked up, how they're prepared to handle such a possible pandemic. We'll have that story, plus news, weather, and traffic to kick off your Friday.
This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Now at 4:30 on Good Morning Indiana, the State Department of Health says Indiana is ready for a possible coronavirus outbreak. The measures they're taking to keep Hoosiers safe.
So they won't negotiate with us, but they don't want to follow the law, and that's not fair.
Plus, a move introduced and approved by state lawmakers today could bring 2 public transportation projects to a screeching halt.
And we're a little over a year away from NBA All-Star Weekend, and some organizations are already seeing the benefits of Indiana's hosting duties. 4:30 here on your Friday morning. Thanks for waking up early with us. I'm Meredith Barrick.
And I'm Lauren Casey. Alyssa Donovan is with us this morning to break down your Friday forecast. A chilly start, Alyssa.
Yeah, so we're starting cold this morning, but as you guys said earlier, the good news is we do have a bit of a warm-up on the way. We're going to be into the mid-50s by Sunday. I know that doesn't sound familiar to us over the past couple days, but it's going to be a welcome change. Today, though, we're starting in the 20s, 23 degrees right now in Indianapolis, still in the teens to the north of us, right around 14 degrees in Peru, 22 in Muncie. Feels a little bit colder than that because of those winds. Feels a little bit more like the teens right now in Indy, and the single digits to the north. So this is a morning you're going to want to bundle up as you head outside. As we head into the next few hours here, we are staying dry to start. We have a little bit of snow that's moving out of the area to the south, just some light snow showers. And what's happening next is we are going to see a quick moving clipper system that's going to move through the area. That's going to happen this afternoon. So we could see some light flurries before then this morning, and then by the afternoon we are going to see just a quick chance of some light snow showers moving through. Not expecting accumulation from that, but just going to see that chance in the forecast today. Temperatures starting pretty chilly this morning in the 20s across the area, only climbing into the low 30s this afternoon.
All right, Alyssa, excuse me, thank you so much. It is Friday. Here's a look in the downtown area, I-65, a view here from St. Clair Street. You can see traffic is moving along just fine. No crashes or delays here in downtown on your interstate to slow you down. So let's travel up to the north side. I-465 over White River. You can see traffic moving along eastbound and westbound is moving along smoothly. We'll continue to keep you updated on your Friday morning commute if there are any crashes or delays. Well, Indigo is not pleased with an amendment to a bill that could delay or stop all plans for the purple and blue lines.
House Bill 1279 creates a penalty if Indigo doesn't raise at least 10% of the cost for public transportation projects using sources other than taxes and fares. This means 10% of a project, such as the blue line or purple line, can't come from taxes or fares. The issue wasn't addressed at last night's monthly board meeting, but afterward we talked to Indigo board member Mark Fisher. He says this amendment could derail a lot of the improvements that would come with the new lines.
The infrastructure improvements, the sidewalks, the drainage, the repaving of the streets, the redevelopment potential, all of that is at risk.
Fisher also says this is the State House trying to undo the will of the voters of Marion County who approved these projects.
Now to the latest on the coronavirus. State Health Department provided an update on how well Indiana is prepared to respond to a possible outbreak here. Dr. Christina Buck said that health officials across the state are ready to respond to any possible COVID-19 outbreak or any other pandemic. The health department says it's working with state, local, and federal partners to refine its strategies as it continues to monitor the situation across the country and the globe. That's why Dr. Box is encouraging education, not panic.
People ask me, is this time to panic? No, it's the time to plan. It's the time to make sure that, number one, that you educate yourself and you keep yourself informed. And I'm not talking about looking at social media and blogs that people put out there. I'm talking about going to ISDH's website or the CDC's website and keeping up with that accurate information that we want you to have.
Coronavirus symptoms include fever, cough, and shortness of breath. If you have any recent history of travel to China or contact with someone suspected of having this illness, you can call 317-233-7125 for guidance.
Working for you, we wanted to find out how universities across the state are preparing for potential cases of the coronavirus. Officials in Bloomington say they've been meeting daily for more than a month, discussing and practicing plans in the event a student or faculty member is diagnosed with the virus. The plan lays out the immediate steps each campus needs to take. It includes determining the proper locations to isolate potential patients and finding out how quickly they can respond. Brad Cyphers, the director for emergency management at IU, says they're not only working with state and local health partners, but also other universities.
We have peers across the country, already 2 institutions who have confirmed cases on their campuses. We've been in touch with them directly on how they responded to this new virus, and they've been successful. So we have some peers that we rely on, and then our plan lines out what we would do to isolate individuals if they are confirmed to have a case.
Indiana University says it has 4 people dedicated to constantly gathering the latest information on the outbreak so they can continue to improve their plans and stay prepared. Officials say they feel the risk of the coronavirus cases is still low at this point.
The coronavirus outbreak is also causing some panic on Wall Street. This morning, Wall Street futures are indicating another big sell-off in store for the markets. This after a drop in the Dow more than 1,000 points on Thursday. Futures for the Dow, S&P 500, and the Nasdaq are all down this morning. On Thursday, 3 indices entered what is called the correction territory, meaning that they are down 10% from their recent highs. While that's a drop is a pretty big scare, corrections are fairly regular occurrences. Experts say historically the markets have rebounded from previous outbreaks. They don't recommend making any drastic moves to sell off your stocks. You can find extensive coverage of the coronavirus, including how it spreads, to protect yourself and the latest on that outbreak. It's in a special section on our website, theindychannel.com/coronavirus.
New overnight, 1 person is dead after a crash on the city's northeast side. It happened just after 1 this morning at East 30th and Enterprise Street. We're told 2 cars were involved. 1 driver died and the other was taken to the hospital. Right now their condition is not known. Police say alcohol is believed to be a factor in the crash.
Also overnight, Metro Police are investigating a deadly shooting, this time on the city's north side. It happened at a marathon at the corner of 30th and College Avenue just before 11 o'clock last night. Officers say that a man was pronounced dead at the scene. Police have not released any more information at this time, but they say a homicide detective is investigating. Anyone with information is asked to call Crime Stoppers.
A judge has denied a teen's request to withdraw his guilty plea in the murder of an Indianapolis doctor. Prosecutors say Devin Seats and 3 others burglarized the home of Dr. Kevin Rogers in 2017. Seats is accused of shooting and killing Rogers. The 19-year-old surprised the courtroom when he made the request to withdraw his guilty plea at his original sentencing. Seats is now scheduled to be sentenced March 12th. He faces up to 50 years in prison. The other suspects in the case pleaded guilty to burglary charges and were sentenced earlier this month.
At 4:37, new campaign from the Marion County Health Department is hoping to reduce the stigma that surrounds drug addiction. It's called What Friends Are For. It encourages sufferers to talk about their addiction struggles with people who they trust. Health officials say this makes people more likely to overcome addiction. The other part of the campaign will emphasize the legality of carrying naloxone. The drug is used to reverse the effects of opioid overdose. Naloxone is available at several pharmacies and can be obtained by anyone. You can also get it from the health department by attending a free training.
We're a little more than a year away from the 2021 NBA All-Star Weekend in Indianapolis, but some organizations are already starting to see the benefits. Yesterday, the All-Star Host Committee announced a $1 million initiative granting money to 21 projects across the state. Those projects will impact 18 Indiana counties. Some of the groups that will receive grants are the Boys and Girls Club, the Hawthorne Community Center, and Camp Jameson. Another grant was awarded to the L&A Park Foundation. The money will go toward building a walking path surrounding the ball fields at the Abby and Libby Memorial Park in Delphi.
We're learning more about Wednesday's tragic deadly shooting at a Milwaukee brewery. Straight ahead, the latest on that investigation and what we know right now about the victims.
And Scottish lawmakers just took a major step towards ending period poverty in their country. We'll tell you how and who's following suit coming up. Alyssa.
And we have a cold start to another wintry day. Those temperatures only climbing into the low 30s. Some snow showers coming in this afternoon, but a sunnier weekend with warmer temperatures on the way. I'll break down the details coming up.
$100 million collected for our clients.
This morning, we're learning more about the deadly shooting at a brewery in Milwaukee. Police saying that a fired employee opened fire at the Miller Brewery, killing at least 5 co-workers and himself. It's one of the worst mass shootings in the state's history. Suzanne Spencer has more.
They were powerhouse operators, they were machinists, and they were electricians. But more importantly, they were husbands, they were fathers, and they were friends.
Authorities announcing the names of those killed in Wednesday's deadly shooting at Miller Brewery.
Jesus Valle, 33-year-old resident of Milwaukee. Dana Walk, a 57-year-old resident of Delafield.
A GoFundMe, Walking the Walks, honors the 57-year-old. Also among the dead, 61-year-old Jean Levschetz of Mequon.
Dale Hudson, Trevor Wetzler,
a 33-year-old whose LinkedIn page says he worked as an engine room operator, was a sailor in the Navy, and graduated from UW-Madison. The university says, quote, the Badger community is mourning the victims of Wednesday's shooting, including Trevor Wetzler, who graduated in 2009 with a bachelor's degree in political science. We send our condolences to the friends and families of those who were killed and to the greater Milwaukee community.
They've gone through something that no one ever wants to go through. A sudden, tragic, unexpected, unbelievable loss of life.
51-year-old Anthony Farrell was an active employee and the shooter, who sources say used 2 guns, one with a silencer, when he killed his colleagues. Authorities spent several hours outside of his Milwaukee home Wednesday night as victims' families remember their loved ones.
Last night, a vigil was held for the victims. More than 1,000 people work on that campus, which includes corporate offices and breweries. No motive has been given at this time.
Turning now to the presidential race, Democrats are preparing for the last presidential primary before Super Tuesday. Tomorrow, South Carolina voters will head to the polls. The outcome will likely be a major deciding factor in the future of some candidates' campaigns. Former Vice President Joe Biden calls the state his firewall. And right now, he's ahead of frontrunner Senator Bernie Sanders in the polls there. For other Democratic hopefuls, South Carolina could be the end of the line. Meanwhile, President Trump is expected to get all the GOP delegates from South Carolina. The Republicans canceled their primary in the state.
This weekend, several of the Democratic presidential candidates are expected to join thousands of people gathering for the 55th annual Selma Bridge Crossing Jubilee. This event commemorates the battles between civil rights protesters and Alabama state troopers on the Edmund Pettus Bridge. Clashes, which started on March 7, 1965, are known as Bloody Sunday. They contributed to the passing of the Voting Rights Act. This year's event includes a presidential candidates forum for the first time ever. It's going to be held on Sunday after the bridge crossing reenactment and backward march.
Hillary Clinton is joining the podcast game. The former First Lady, Secretary of State and 2016 Democratic nominee is expected to go on air in late spring. The program will reportedly feature Clinton holding conversations with world leaders, newsmakers, and celebrities. Clinton says she was inspired by previous recording experiences with comedian and talk show host Conan O'Brien. The yet-to-be-named project will be co-produced by iHeartMedia.
Scottish lawmakers have moved one step closer to making all female hygiene products free. The Period Products Free Provisions Scotland bill passed through the first stage of Parliament earlier this week. It would require the government to provide free universal access to tampons, pads, and other menstrual items. Scotland already makes those items freely available in schools, colleges, and universities. The move follows a global trend ending period poverty. England passed a similar measure last month, making period products free in public schools, colleges, and university. Here in Indiana, Purdue University announced that it would start offering feminine hygiene products for free in all campus bathrooms.
It may be great for crime fighting, but that doesn't mean it's ready to hit the road. Police in Russia seized this Batmobile replica in Moscow last weekend. They say the car was built in the U.S., then customized in Russia, but unfortunately for the driver, it's not street legal. He now faces multiple fines and charges for violating traffic laws. The Batmobile is based on the one featured in the 2016 movie Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice. So that probably was an expensive one to get out of the tow yard there. All right, Alyssa, here at 446, let's talk about our weather.
So we're starting cold this morning, and then we do have a chance of a light snow shower this afternoon. Potential of some stronger snow showers within that band that's coming through. And then we are going to see things warming up as we head through the weekend. The warmest day is going to be on Sunday. We are close to 60 degrees on Sunday, so a big change to what we're seeing today. As we head into next week, there is plenty of rain on the way. We have a few chances throughout the 7-day forecast. Right now, we're starting in the 20s this morning. Feels a little bit more like the teens because of those winds coming out of the northwest right now. So as you step outside, need to bundle up. But the actual temperature is right around 23 degrees in Indianapolis. Kokomo at 17 degrees right now. So a lot of us are seeing clear skies this morning to start. We do have just a few light snow showers to the south of us this morning, but those are quickly moving out, and we are going to be replaced by sunshine to start our day, and then we're going to build in a little bit more cloud coverage as we head through the afternoon. That's because we have this disturbance that's just off to our west that's starting to drop down, and what that's going to do is bring us that cloud cover throughout our day. So sunny to start, and then those clouds build in mid-morning, and those will stick with us this afternoon. And then by the evening, right around 4 or 5 p.m., as you're heading home from work, that's when we see that potential of a light snow shower. We have this quick moving clipper system that's going to move in. Most of the activity is expected to the south. That's where we are seeing that potential of those light snow showers. To the north, more likely you'll just see some light flurries with this system. If we warm enough to the extreme south, we could see that fall in the form of rain, but most of us are just going to see that quick light snow shower. We do have the possibility of seeing some quick heavier snow showers with this system as it moves through, so we can't rule out seeing a dusting or up to a ½ an inch of light accumulation very quickly this afternoon. Behind that, high pressure is going to build in, so we're going to start tomorrow morning dry and chilly, and then we are going to climb into the upper 30s with plenty of sunshine on Saturday. So still a little chilly outside Saturday before we start to see that flow switch, and then we are going to see those temperatures up into the 50s by Sunday. That warming is just ahead of some changes that come next week, bringing us plenty of rainfall as we head into Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Today, though, starting chilly this morning with those temperatures in the 20s, climbing to the low 30s this afternoon. Those snow showers happening right around the time you're heading home from work today. So definitely give yourself that on your radar so you are aware of it for your evening commute. Taking a look at that weekend, looking pretty good into the 50s by Sunday.
All right, Alyssa, thanks so much. Here's a look right now at traffic. This is I-65 at I-465 up on the northwest side. You can see the traffic here is moving along up to speed in all directions. Still pretty quiet out that way. We'll continue to keep our eyes on your roads this Friday morning, and we'll keep you updated on any issues.
If you ever get that nagging feeling you may be spending too much money on your pet, you're not alone. According to the American Pet Products Association, pet owners spend more than $95 billion on their furry friends last year. Most of that went to food and treats. The next largest category was vet care and health-related products. Pet owners also spent more than $10 billion on services like boarding, grooming, and training. Experts say one reason we're spending so much more is because of advances in the pet industry.
Cheesecake lovers rejoice. The Cheesecake Factory is handing out free slices this March. All you got to do is place an order of $15 or more through DoorDash and use the code LUNCHSLICE. The offer is good on weekdays through March 25th. DoorDash is also offering free delivery on Cheesecake Factory orders during the same period. You can still get the deal if you pick up your food just as long as you place the order through DoorDash. Got to keep that in mind. All right, the 10-year-old boy who's been a fighter since he was born, he's getting a wish to become an actual superhero. Coming up, see how his entire community came together to make this happen.
And coming up all new at 5, Vice President Mike Pence is taking some steps forward as he heads up the country's coronavirus task force. Details on the progress being made and who he's tapped to join his team. But first,
I'm Vinny Politan. Coming up today on Court TV, preview of a big trial that's brewing out in California that we will be covering next week. It's the case against millionaire Robert Durst, accused of the murder of his friend. And prosecutors believe they have a confession on audio that was part of the HBO docuseries The Jinx. Our coverage of the Robert Durst trial today on Court TV.
And don't forget, you can watch the all-new Court TV live right on your mobile device. Just visit CourtTV.com. It is 4:51. We'll be right back.
At ZeroHungerZeroWasteFoundation.org.
Actor and comedian Tracy Morgan is honoring a woman who helped care for him when he was critically injured in a car crash 6 years ago. The former 30 Rock and SNL star hasn't forgotten Gina Domingo. She works in the brain trauma unit at JFK Johnson Rehabilitation Institute in New Jersey. That's where Morgan was taken back in 2014 when a truck driver crashed into the back of a limo carrying him and fellow comedian James McNair. McNair died in the crash. Last week, Morgan honored Domingo with the Tracy Morgan Award for Excellence in Rehabilitation Nursing. Since the crash, Morgan has shined a light on the importance of rehabilitation nursing.
It is 4:56, thwarting a bank robbery, putting out a fire, and rescuing someone from a collapsed building. It was all in a day's work for a 10-year-old Florida boy. Gage Pike suffers from a rare condition that causes abnormal tissue growth. Right now, he's recovering from open heart surgery. He told Make-A-Wish that he wanted to be a robot superhero, and Robo-Gage was born. You see him there. Hundreds worked to coordinate this. The entire community actually came together to grant Gage's wishes. His final rescue of the day was from a simulated building collapse. That is so cool. Look at him go.
Go, Gage, go.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, if I'm
cool.
ever in an emergency, I hope Robo-Gage shows up.
Yes.
All right. Let's talk about our weather today. Another cold day out there, but that's going to change, thankfully.
Yeah, so we do have some changes coming this weekend, but we do have to get through today. Chilly start. We are in the 20s. Feels a little bit more like the teens when you step outside. By this afternoon, we do have a quick hit of snow showers coming through. We could see up to a dusting, maybe a half an inch in some areas as that moves through. 30 degrees for our high. Tomorrow, another chilly start, but then we warm up. Sunday, we are into the upper 50s. A wet week ahead next week.